Okay, we're going to look at how to create a target with two concentric circles in which 25% of that data is a bullseye and 25% is not within either of those concentric circles. To do this, first thing we're going to do is we're going to select and highlight all of our X and Y coordinates from B2 to C21. Then we're going to select and insert a chart. From chart, we're going to get this chart here, but we don't want this line chart. We want a scatter plot so that we can create our chart that we created in class. From here, we do have to change up a couple things. The first of which is we want to not touch anything in the setup. We want to come over to customize. Inside of the customize, I do like to come into the chart title, and I do like to change the title to be launch data, and then I like to put down the distance that I launched from. That does update right here, and personally, I like it to be centered. From there, I'm going to minimize that chart and axis title. The X coordinate and the Y coordinate is perfectly fine. Next thing we're going to do is we are going to come over here down into the horizontal axis. And what we're going to do is we're going to change the values in which our data sits on. Now, depending on how big the circle is that you drew, your numbers might need to be slightly different. But negative 15 and 15 work well for me. You may have to use negative 25 and 25 for this. It just kind of depends on your data. I'm going to go ahead and minimize that, and then I'm going to open up the vertical axis. From here, I'm going to use the same exact values, negative 15 and 15. After that, we're going to go ahead and minimize the vertical axis, but we can see that we have our negative 15s and our 15s both on the X and Y axis. And we're going to come down here to grid lines and ticks. From grid lines and ticks, what we want to do is for the horizontal axis, we want to go ahead and have this step by 5. And you'll see that down here, we have big lines stepping up by 5. And then our minor spaces, we want to step by 1. So each of these lines now represents 1. We're going to go ahead and switch over to the vertical axis now. So we're going to go over here to the vertical axis, and we're going to step by 5 and 1 again. What we're doing now is we're making our graph paper. Now, the problem with this graph paper, though, is that all these little boxes, they're not squares. They are currently rectangles. So we want to get this to be in more of a shape of a square. So what we're going to do is we're going to close down our chart editor. We're going to come up here and we're going to insert a drawing from Google Drawing. We're going to select our shape, and we're going to select this rectangular shape. We're going to hold the Shift key down, and we're going to click and drag. When you hold the Shift key down, it makes a square. It will not make a rectangle. Then you're going to let go of your mouse button, and it creates a square. From there, we're going to make sure that it is transparent, has transparent fill, and then we're going to click Save and Close. From here, this is our square, and what we're going to do is we're going to place it up here in the very top corner. And then we're going to go ahead and try to make this grid match this square. So I'm going to bring this in, click off of it, and then I'm going to bring it down a little bit to turn it into a square. I'm trying to get this line here to match up with that line. We're not being super precise, but we are trying to be pretty accurate. So right now, what this means is all of these little guys right here are as close as we can make to them squares. So we're going to click this off, and we're going to actually go ahead and leave it off to the side. We shouldn't need it again unless we accidentally change how big our chart is. The next thing we want to do is we want to make concentric circles. So we do want to create a new drawing. So we're going to come over here to Insert, choose Drawing. And this time, instead of a rectangle, we're going to choose circle, or this oval part. Again, we're going to hold Shift down, and then we're going to drag out. That's going to make a circle. Then we're going to let go of the mouse button, then the Shift button. We're going to make sure that the fill color is transparent, but we want to know where the center of the circle is. So the easiest way to do this is to create kind of like crosshairs. So we're going to choose the line tool. We're going to hover over the circle, and all these little purple dots are going to show up. We're going to click and drag on one purple dot to the other purple dot. Then we're going to do the same thing to the other side here. So if we're wondering where the center of the circle is, we know it's at the crosshair. We're going to hit save and close. And then because we have 20 pieces of data and we need 25 pieces of that data to land inside the inner bullseye or the inner concentric circle, we're going to go ahead and try to find something that fits 5 in here. So right there, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So we need to get 5. So let's go ahead. Let's move it around a little bit more. We may have to change the size of it. Let's see where we're at here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's make it just a little bit bigger. Okay. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Now be careful. Some of your data may have repeated. This piece of data right here is actually 2 landings. It's number 12 and number 14. So this is technically 6 spots. So just be careful with your data. So let's go ahead and try to find a better 5. Let's go ahead and come down and let's say this right here. Right there. Okay. So we have got 1, 2, 3, and then this is 4, 5. Now we're going to create another concentric circle. So we're going to go to our drawing. We're going to go ahead and select that and create that oval again. We're going to hold the shift key down. If you don't hold the shift key, it's going to create an oval, but as soon as you press the shift key, it'll go back to circle. We're going to make sure that the fill is transparent, and then we're going to go ahead and create that bullseye again for us. From here, we're going to hit save, and then we're going to go ahead and match those bullseyes up. Now, if it's pretty far away, you can change your zoom level so that it is a little bit easier to see this. So I'm going to go ahead and change my zoom level so it's a little bit easier to see where we are at. All right, I'm going to make that a little bit bigger here. We're going to go ahead and make that 175. Okay. From here, what we're looking for is that right now we want to make sure that these circles are basically sharing the same origin. So that makes them concentric, but none of them are outside of it. So we have to make this guy smaller. So let's make it smaller. Let's bring it up here and check again. Nothing's outside of it, so let's make it smaller again. Let's check again. Okay, so now we have 2 out, but to get to our 25% miss, we need to have 5 out. So let's make it smaller again. And let's get it back on the concentric part here, a little bit smaller. Let's bring it back to the concentric part here. So now what we can see is that we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are misses. So that's 25% are misses. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because that's a double one. So we have 5 hitting the center. And then we should have 10 on the kind of secondary bullseye. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. After that, we can go ahead and zoom back out a little bit so we can see our whole chart. And this is what you would screenshot and turn in for demonstrating that you understand how to create concentric bullseyes that provide an appropriate amount of winners.